Hi, I'm Mark Shana, and this is my quality of character presentation for ethics in sport. So, there are many different qualities that make up a person's character, and today we're going to focus on what I think is one of the most important qualities of character, and that is commitment. When you're talking about commitment, you're talking about a person who refuses to give up when things don't go the way they want it to. Commitment is always putting forth your best effort no matter what the circumstance is. The dictionary definition of commitment is the state or quality of being dedicated to a cause or activity. And, I really believe that, to be dedicated, you have to be able to push through when things get tough. So, why is commitment important? Commitment is important because it pushes you to try harder, when times get tough. You are fully committed to something, quitting is never an option. You just push through no matter what. You try harder, you look for solutions, and everyone's going to feel like quitting every once in a while. Everybody gets that. It's totally understandable. But when you quit and that becomes a recurring pattern, then you're not going to succeed at very much. So commitment is important in so many different aspects of our lives. We all have relationships, whether it be with friends, family, marriages. We all are looking for jobs mostly, most of us, and we want good long careers, and we want to be able to climb the corporate ladder, or move up from assistant coach to head coach, and and even our own personal health, taking care of our bodies and things like that. It's not always easy. People go on diets and fall off the wagon and have to start over, and all of those things require commitment. So when you want to quit your diet or you want to quit your job, or we'll talk about it eventually in this presentation. We look at marriage. Commitment is such an important thing when you talk about all these different aspects that we all go through in our lives. So the Bible discusses commitment quite a bit, and there's a couple quotes that really stick out to me in the Bible, and one is from Matthew, and he says, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind." And this is the great first commandment. So Jesus is telling us that every fiber of our being, every facet of our lives must be committed to loving God. And this means we hold nothing back from him, and God holds nothing back from us. And it's just like I talked about with marriage and our relationships and everything, and of course that goes to our relationship with God as well. But you always put in everything you have to keep that relationship going and keep that relationship strong. Another one I like is from the Numbers, and if a man vows a vow unto the Lord, or swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to that proceedeth out of his mouth. So basically you're talking about if you say something, you do it, period. You make sure that you follow through on what you say you're going to do. And that goes, if you say to yourself that you're going to do something, like get in shape, or you make a promise to a friend that you're going to be there at some time to do some activity, or whatever it may be, you make sure you keep your commitments to yourself and to others. So coaching, of course, that's why most of us are in this class. Coaching has an impact on commitment, of course. And I think as a coach, commitment is one of the most important things for us. We have to be there. We have to put in the work. We are there for our athletes, and if we're not committed, they're not going to be committed. And we need that commitment back from them. And we'll get into that in a second. And I think it's also important for us as the coaches, especially if we work with younger kids, as I do. We are an example for them. We have to teach our athletes how to be mentally tough, how to stay committed, and push through when times get hard. So, a quote I found in our Teaching Character Through Sport book And I really liked this, is the athlete is committed to continuous improvement. He can recover quickly from a mistake and refuse to remain discouraged. The acronym that can be used to remind athletes to recover quickly from a mistake of theirs or a mistake of their teammates is WIN, and it stands for What's Important Now. So when we're talking about the acronym, it's a great way to remind yourself, okay, what are my goals? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Something, hard just came up, or something, I just made a big mistake and let people down. Why am I still here? And, when you think of WIN, when you think of what's important to you right now, that can remind you, what are your goals? Why are you here? So that you can keep pushing through and keep, that commitment going forward. So impact of commitment on athletes. Commitment, I just mentioned it, it's huge. It's very important as coaches down to our athletes, and it's important for us to teach our athletes about commitment and why it's important to be committed, because when they are committed, that's going to translate to outside the sport. At least that's our hope. And when athletes are truly committed, you'll see these positive traits. They'll be, we hope, more honest. They'll have more integrity. We hope that they build a strong work ethic because of it. And of course, we want to see compassion. We want to see them, understand what other people might be going through and help maybe them get through their own commitments when they want to quit. So there's 4 C's of sports psychology, and I thought this was really interesting. The four C's of sports psychology are concentration, confidence, control, and of course commitment. So just really quickly, concentration, is the ability to maintain focus on on relevant stimuli for a short period of time. Confidence, you're talking about a general term, believing in yourself. I can do this. Control, the ability to maintain emotional composure regardless of distraction. And then, of course, we have commitment, the ability to continue working towards your goal. And I think if you really look at these 4 C's, you'll notice, concentration, you can kind of have on its own. Confidence, you can have on its own. Control, you can have on its own. Commitment, you can't really have commitment. You can't have that ability to continue to work towards your goal without the other 3 C's. If you're not concentrated and focused on what you want to achieve, and you're not confident in yourself that you can do it, and you don't have the control to make sure that you push through and don't quit, then you can't have commitment. So you have to be able to have all 4 of these together. Without the other 3, commitment is not going to be possible. So I have a quick video I want you to watch, and this is for when you feel that urge to quit. If you ever feel like, I can't do this, I feel like this is a great motivational video to watch to get that motivation level back up inside of you. So, of course, we've talked about commitment as it relates to us as coaches and our athletes and, in the world of sports. But, of course, commitment has so much more to do outside of that. And, of course, there's a social impact. I touched upon it earlier about our relationships, our jobs, our careers, sports, of course. But it really is just such an important trait to have everywhere in our lives. We know it has a physical impact. You have to be committed to yourself, to maintain a healthy lifestyle. And we see a lack of commitment to ourselves rise today. We see rising obesity rates. A lot more type 2 diabetes cases are being found. And there's an increase even in anxiety and depression. And that comes from not really taking care of ourselves properly. So if you look at these 2 graphs really quickly, a lot of people talk about the divorce rates and they look at percentages of divorces that fail. And, for this, we're talking strictly about commitment and being able to stay in it. So I didn't want the percentage. This graph shows how many marriages fail, and end in divorce. So it doesn't matter what the percentage. You're looking at hundreds of thousands of marriages that are ending in divorce, and that shows the lack of commitment. It doesn't matter what the percentage of marriages is not working, but these are outstanding numbers just by themselves of marriages that are ending in divorce. And we've seen, of course, it's pretty common knowledge these days that the obesity rate is on the rise, and this graph just shows that even just in adults. It doesn't even touch on the amount of kids that are inactive and becoming obese, at such a young age now. So just a couple questions to consider, talk with, someone, or even think of, in your, with yourself. What could you look at, or what do you need to know before making a commitment? Because you need to take commitment seriously. And, if you're going to make a commitment to something, someone, whatever, you need to know, is this something I truly can stay committed to? Because I feel like once you make that commitment, you have to stay true to it. And of course, we know things aren't always going to be easy. So what are some strategies you can think of beforehand, when things get hard or try to hold you back, that can make you able to push through those tough times? So, in conclusion, we know commitment is an extremely important quality, to building a strong character. If you want to reach goals in life, you have to be able to stay committed to different causes, different things, whether it be commitment to yourself, other people, jobs, sports, whatever it is. Commitment is extremely, extremely important. Thank you.